He's a terrifying enemy of G.I. Joe. Destro is his name. Destro is his name.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. I admit, it's been a freaking long time, but we're finally back to the comic.
And we're taking a look at issue 70, Fair Trade. In the last issue, the Joes were in the fictional Banana Republic of Sierra Gordo, trying to evacuate the US ambassador and his sensitive papers as a revolution was going on. Due to that revolution, Cobra was also being kicked out, so the Dreadnoks were trying to escape. They did this by taking a bunch of refugees hostage and hijacking the Joes' escape plane before Hawk's team and the ambassador got there.
So yeah, they're gonna need to find another way out.
The plane then took fire and could go down. Also, Destro showed up and showed off his new faction, the Iron Grenadiers. Issue 70's cover shows somebody holding a gun to Wild Bill's head as the plane is going down. It's a pretty good and tense cover. The first page picks up where the last issue left off, with the plane about to crash. The next page is people recapping how they got into this mess in the first place.
But I just told you all of that, so let's move on.
Crazy Legs proves himself a hero, saving a kid during the crash. And the only casualty seems to be Thrasher's face as he smashes into the control panel. Crazy Legs has to save the kid and himself again as the thunder machine breaks loose. He then goes to check on the guys in the cockpit. That's the end of page 6. But then the comic switches to the Destro and Hawk stuff, and we won't get back to the crash until the last 2 pages.
Which I'm just gonna go over now to keep the flow going.
Everyone except Thrasher is indeed okay, so they GTFO and take the compass with them. Just in time too, as the plane blows up a short time later, meaning they have to get their walking boots on, hampered by a group of refugees and 3 Dreadnoks. The end.
Okay, that was short and sweet. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And oh, no, right, the Hawk stuff and the Destro stuff, we're not done.
Yeah, we still have most of the issue to get through. Destro is about to leave, having demonstrated the firepower he can provide the country, when General Villavasa and an exec from a banana company show up, telling them Hawk's team has escaped with the ambassador and needs blowing up. Destro points out they already had their free demonstration, and that stuff isn't cheap, so he'd like some money please. Which the suit is only too happy to provide. Just to be sure, the general is also sending in his own troops. Meanwhile, Hawk's team is moving through the jungle along with some counter-revolutionaries who saved their bacon. They have ditched the Striker, which Roadblock complains about, but Psychout says they're better off without it, because now they're able to melt into the jungle. Yeah, not with that outfit, buddy.
Speaking of outfits,
Roadblock is dressed in all whites, which I thought was a coloring error, but no, he had that outfit last issue and will have it for the rest of this one too. That's kinda weird because none of his figures match that look. What makes it even weirder is this issue is from 1988, the same year Tiger Force Roadblock came out. You'd think Hasbro would have pushed for their inclusion more. Anyway, the ambassador isn't too happy Hawk has been palling around with the counter-revolutionaries, and says he'll nail Hawk to the wall back in the States.
Dude!
They kinda only need those sensitive papers you've got, so they could just shoot you and bury you in the jungle if they wanted to.
Maybe don't be a giant dick to the people trying to save you.
They arrive at a house belonging to a smuggler who can lead them out of the country through the jungle, but the place is pretty quiet. A little too quiet, if you'll pardon the cliché, so they decide to sneak up on the house. And they were right to do so as an armed guard steps out. Unfortunately, for some reason, they brought Ambassador Asshole with them, who promptly falls over in shock.
Seriously, dude, they'd never find your body.
Now, they can't really kill any of the characters that have toys or may get figures later, but luckily they brought plenty of cannon fodder, like the counter-revolutionaries and a marine from the embassy, that I haven't mentioned yet because I forgot he existed until just now. Also, Ambassador Asshole gets shot.
Yay!
But only in the legs.
Boo!
The firefight is over quickly as Roadblock lays down suppressive fire so others can throw in grenades to finish the job. And sure enough, everybody inside is dead, including their guide who was killed days ago. Worse, the bad guys managed to radio for backup. Backup that must have already been really freaking close by as they're surrounding the house on the next page.
And no, the comic didn't do a time skip.
The general orders a full assault despite there being no cover for 60 meters. And yes, they say meters because South America uses the metric system, which is a neat detail showing how much work Larry Hama put in, even on something so small. Now, you might say this frontal assault is stupid, and it is.
But it's not unrealistic.
as this was the main strategy during World War I's trench warfare. So the assault begins with Destro also on his way. The results are predictable, as the general's troops are indeed mowed down without much of a chance. Just as all seems lost for them, the air cavalry arrives as Destro joins the fight. Only not on the side of the bad guys. He turns his chopper around and fires on the attackers, ending the fight instantly. He wants a deal with El Jefe, the leader of the counter-revolutionaries, to sell them arms and give him the banana business. Jefe agrees to the chagrin of the AA. Jefe counters that they can only have as much integrity as they can afford, and the Americans got help from a tyrannical government, the French I'm guessing, during their own revolution, so shut up. Hawk tells him, dams the brakes, and hey, at least Destro will fly him to a nice hospital. I will. Sure, I will. And that was fair trade.
A pretty good issue, all things considered.
The story is loosely based on actual historic events, where powerful companies financed revolutions in South American countries such as Honduras to gain control of their main export, bananas, hence the term Banana Republic. The biggest thing from this story is of course Destro starting his own faction, which would have consequences in the comic for years to come. We're not quite done in Sierra Gordo yet, as we'll see the conclusion of the story in issue 71.
But that's a story for another day. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody, and hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing.
He's a terrifying enemy of G.I. Joe. Destro is his name. Destro is his name.